Okay, for this effect we need 12 random cards, and you can have the spectator choose those actually. Okay, so what I'll do here is I'll just deal out 12 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Very good. You can have the spectator mix these as much as they would like. Okay, now what you need to do as a performer, this is a very, very important step. As you're gathering these up, you just need to catch a glimpse of the bottom card. Now you don't make a big deal out of it. You don't stare at this. You kind of look over it, and I can see that it's the 3 of clubs. Can you see it? Yeah, I think you can see it on the camera as well. Another way to do it, as you're picking up the packet and squaring up the packet, I can see it really well. You can barely see it, I guess, but I can see that that's the 3 of clubs without me staring directly at it. So you need to remember that card. That's the only piece of information you'll need for this, okay? Now, because I don't have a spectator here, what we're going to need to do so that we can check whether or not we succeeded in the end, we're going to replace the current bottom card with the 5 of hearts on which I've written glimpse bottom card. Okay? Okay, so this is the glimpse card, whatever it might be. And then you show them the top card of that random packet of 12 cards. Okay, so this could be any card in the deck of 52. Now, once again, since I don't have a spectator, for us to know whether we succeeded, we're going to replace that one with this one over here. Okay, so it says, spectator's card. This is the spectator noted card. This is the card that we showed them that we didn't see. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just bury their card. I mean, it's just somewhere in this packet of 12. Look at this mess here. And then I'm going to deal out into 4 piles, okay? And we're going to use a really fun shuffle. It's called the leapfrog shuffle. And we can do it from left to right or right to left. Would you like me to go from left to right or left to right? Okay, so how it works is this little guy here leaps over that one, just like a frog might. And this one leaps over that one. And then we can randomly stack these. How do you want these stacked? Right on left? Okay, very, very good. That's just fine. Okay, now we can do as many of these as you would like us to do. And I want you to think about just all of the movement of these cards, and their order is very much being determined by your choices. For instance, do you want us to leapfrog from right to left or left to right? You want to go left to right again? That's just fine. Okay, so that's determining the order of the cards. How do you want these stacked? Left to right is left on right as well. Okay, sorry. Why don't we do one more of those, but just know you can do 10 of these, or however many the spectator calls for. Maybe they want to do the leapfrog from right to left, just to mix things up a little bit. And how do you want these stacked? You want right on left as well? Okay, that's just fine. Okay, now once you've done that, what you need to do as a performer is just put out pairs. Now at the end of the video, I'm going to explain these 3 shuffles and kind of teach you the shuffles, okay? But let me just tell you the secret here. Something will always happen. It will always be the case that your glimpsed bottom card will be paired with the spectator's noted card. That will always happen if you perform these steps that I've shown you. And that's despite the fact that the spectator is deciding which direction to do this leapfrog stacking and whether things are stacked left on right at the very end. I mean, they're given tremendous freedom to make choices that are determining the order of these cards. They truly, truly are. But nonetheless, the underlying mathematics guarantees that this will always happen. You can rest assured that once you see your glimpse card, the spectator's card will be paired with it. Isn't that amazing? Okay? And so at this point, what you can do is, kind of pretend to, maybe eliminate piles and say, a pair of diamonds. I don't think it's in there. I do love the ace of spades, but I don't think it's in that pair either. I don't think it's in either one of these. Oh boy, we're down to 2 pairs. 50-50 chance here. I don't think it's... No. It might... No, I think this one's clearly out. That's not the right one. Boy, I hope I've chosen the right pair. And then at this point, you can look deeply into the spectator's eyes and try to divine, or even ask them, is your card the ace of clubs? And kind of just stare at them intensely. And what may happen, actually, is they may reveal it because they can't keep themselves from smiling or something. And then you say, I found it, which would be fun in and of itself. If they have a real poker face, it doesn't matter. Guess what? It's this card. So you could, read their body language or claim that at the very beginning, before even starting this effect, in your mind's eye, you saw a black ace. You don't know why, but a black ace. And you've already eliminated the ace of spades. You thought, it's not that one. I'll bet you it's this one. Okay, so just use your own creativity and personality to eventually come down to this one and say, is that your card? And most likely they'll say, yes, it is. And if they lie, they lied. And then you can turn that into something fun as well. So anyway, if you'd like to know some of the underlying mathematics, as I mentioned, go to the Hidden Structures channel. And in particular, the Hidden Structures Bootcamp series will take you through quite a bit of the mathematics driving this particular effect. Okay, so let's show you quickly the shuffles involved. There's only 3 of them. Okay, so we need 12 cards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then for the sake of being able to follow what's going on, we're putting that one on the bottom. That's the glimpse bottom card. And then this is the top card that you just kind of showed to the spectator to remember. Okay, and you have to realize all 12 of these were randomly chosen in practice. Okay, so I just have the markings to help us see that we succeeded. Okay, that's the only reason for them. Okay, so the first shuffle I did is a powerful one. It's called a Charlier 1. Now, I have a separate video on the Charlier shuffle that you may want to check out that goes more deeply into the mechanics. But a Charlier 1 is where you just push off the top card. And it'll just take a little bit of practice, but I don't think it'll take much practice. Push off the top card. Now the bottom card here goes on, goes on top. Top card here goes on the bottom, bottom to top, top to 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 bottom, bottom to top. Okay, so that's called a Charlier 1. Okay. And so if you kind of follow what that's done, it's done something very important with the ordering of the cards, though to the untrained eye, it really looks like it's just scrambled the cards and buried their cards somewhere in the middle. Well, that's actually true. It has buried it in the middle. But we're going to now go ahead and give the spectator a whole bunch of choices here. And these choices make a difference. They will help determine the order of the cards. That's just a fact, okay? So we're going to do a leapfrog, and spectators like the little stacking procedure because it's kind of a fun one to watch and to perform. So you can say, well, we can do this from left to right or right to left, and maybe they'll go left to right. So you just tell them you're leaping over, sorry about that, you're leaping over its little neighbor, just like a frog might leap over there. And then random stacking here. Isn't that amazing? So they can stack right on left or left on right. It won't undermine where we're headed. Wow. How is that even possible? Well, if you go on to the Hidden Structures channel, there's many videos that talk about what's going on with the mathematics and why this works out the way it does. Okay, and so then maybe they do a leapfrog from right to left. So you just leap over its neighbor. Random stacking, maybe they'll go like this. Okay, now as soon as you've done as many of those leapfrog shuffles as the spectator would like you to do, now you finish with something called the Klondike Shuffle. And this is a classic, also a fun one to watch and perform shuffle. You take the bottom card, just one, and the top card, just one, off together. So I don't know if you can see, I'm just taking those off together. And we'll go ahead and just set them face up. Okay, you can see what's happened already there. Just because of the particular choices made with the mixing, our special cards actually were the first ones, right, to be pulled off. But that will be decided. If you remember in the performance, These were like over here somewhere, right? They weren't in that position. They'll move around depending on the choices of the spectator, okay? And then at this point, just use your own personality and creativity and, to decide, kind of how to eventually, their card already, but you may want to create a little bit of intrigue as to whether or not you're going to be able to figure that out, okay? And you could even do some miscalls if you like. You say, well, I don't think it's this one. I don't think it's this one. I don't think it's this one. You know it is, right? But I don't think it's this one either. Let's see. Which of these two? I don't think it's either one of these pairs. How's that possible? I mean, because you looked at a card, right? So your card's... I must have made a mistake down here. Where is it then? Wait a second. I think I accidentally discarded it. Yeah, this one's feeling like the right pair. I'm pretty confident it's one of those, but it's still a 50-50 chance. Okay, well, I'm just going to go out on a limb here. I'm going to say it's the ace. Is it the ace of clubs? And you're really not going out on a limb. It's the ace of clubs, okay? And so whether or not they admit it right off or not, it's their card. And so you can, eventually reveal that, in fact, you have knowledge that it's their card, okay? So however you want to reveal that at the end would be just fine. So thank you for watching, and take a look at some of the other videos on the Hidden Structures channel. There's hundreds of them to watch. So thank you again.